Hello world and welcome back to another video from Superhero Review. This is Daniel and with me as always is...
I already have some fun from Superhero Review.
That's right guys, we hope that you had a happy Easter. We hope that you enjoyed your April Fools and maybe a couple of you got caught the last time when we tried to do our April Fools joke on you. We hope you appreciated that as well and know that Maddie's always here for you guys. Always here, obviously. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go back and look at the last video that we had for DC Legends. But this is not DC Legends. This is Marvel Strike Force.
Marvel Strike Force.
That's right, guys. And so what we have for you today is a very special video where we are going to talk about what is the best characters to start farming today. So if you are brand new to the game and you want to know who are the characters that you want to go after, because if you look in here, there's a whole bunch of characters.
Really?
You've got Hawkeye and Daredevil and Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, Kingpin, and Hulk, Bullseye, Rocket Raccoon, and all sorts of little minions going through here. And you've got people like Iron Man and Wolverine right there, and Nobu and Nick Fury and Black Panther. Just a ton of people to go after, a ton of characters that you can start to get at.
There's probably 19, a guess.
I bet even more than that. There is a ton of characters in the game right now, guys. And so the question becomes, who should you go after? Who should you be spending time farming and trying to collect? Well, there's going to be a couple things that we're going to talk about today. I even got a little printed out piece of paper. That's how serious I am about today. So we will go through here and we will show you all the different things that you can do to farm the characters and get yourself started on the right path. So, very first thing we're going to talk about is team composition is very important, but what this video is going to focus in on is we want to rank the best individual characters that can work on any team, because depending on where you are, what situation you're in, maybe you've already been doing a bunch of videos. Yeah, we've been doing a bunch of videos. Maybe you've already been playing this game for a while in beta like we did. We were at level 50, and we're working our way up 50, getting closer and closer to 51. But I'll say this, the idea is if you've been playing in beta or this is your first time ever playing, you want to know which characters are going to be the most successful on any team. So, like I said, team composition is important, so if you can get all of the Avengers, go after all the Avengers. There will be some advantages to that. That's one of the things I really like about Marvel Strike Force that I don't see in DC Legends. This game rewards you for putting together what are perceived to be normal teams. So if this game ever comes out with the Fantastic Four, or if they ever come out with all of the X-Men, I guarantee they're going to give you a bonus for having them on your team. So, team composition is important, but in this game, in this video, we're going to rank all the characters that are best individual farmable characters in the game right now. So, there's something that you want to keep in mind. As you go through this game, as you go through the campaigns, you're going to need both hero characters and villain characters. So if we were to go in here and do this fight for Captain America Fragments, we'll skip this and go straight to the character selection. You can only select heroes. So as you can see here, all of those up there are heroes. So you have to have a big enough roster to where you have a good hero selection. And as you go into the villain campaign, you'll realize the same thing is true as well. If you go into here, you're going to have a good villain team also. But not all of these characters are available for you. Winter Soldier, for instance, is not available to everybody right now, and I understand that. The only reason why we have him is because we did the beta, and we were able to collect a much of his fragments during the beta time. So, with all of that said, it's time for us to go in and take a look at what characters would make the best team for you, best individuals, I should say, so that you can play through with the best characters available to you. So the best way to show you this, we're going to set up our defense for you, and we're going to talk about some characters one at a time. All right, so what we'll start off with is there's a couple of ways to get characters. Obviously, you can pay for characters, and so you got to determine, are you going to be a pay-to-play character? Are you going to be a free-to-play character? Or are you going to be somewhere in between? That's where we are. We don't pay a whole lot. We've put a little bit of money into this game, probably about $20-$30 so far, to pick up a couple of characters here and there that we really like. And so it is completely up to you. What I will tell you is what I'm going to show you is a top 8 characters that are farmable to you right now. The first one that we want to talk about before we even get into that is the character of Black Widow. Black Widow is a very, very good character, but right now she is not currently farmable. So anytime that she shows up in the supply area, which I'll show you where that is real quick. Go back here, and right over here on the far left-hand side of the screen is supplies. When you go into supplies, you can see which characters are available for you to pay for. So as you can see, we've got over 6,000 of the power cores. And so anytime that Black Widow shows up in this line right here, we will pay and use our power cores to pick her up, because we always want to get fragments for her. So with all of that said, we're now going to go in and start looking at the characters that we recommend you start farming immediately, because like we said, you're going to need both villains and heroes. So these are all the farmable heroes and villains that are available to you to pick up right now. All right, so we're going to take out this entire team here. The very first villain that we're going to talk about is right here, Bullseye. Bullseye is a decent character, but as you can see, he's 8 on our list, 8 overall, so not the best character, but certainly not the worst either. So he is available in the Villains Campaign 1.3. He's also available as a reward in the Hero Campaign 2.6. So in both of those, you'll be able to pick up fragments for Bullseye. So very good character. He comes in number 8 on our list. The next one on our list is also a villain, and she is a very strong character as well. She's also very farmable, and that is Elektra. Elektra is available in Heroes Node 3-9. She's also available in Nexus 3-9. So a farmable character once you get up a little higher, but definitely worth the time to invest in trying to get her shards. The next one that we're going to talk about is a character that I have not spent a lot of time upgrading, but I've just actually recently collected enough fragments to open her up and recruit her, is Nebula. Nebula is a very good character as well. She has a lot of abilities to put buffs on herself. And so the self-buffing that she does allows her to gain evasions as well as do dodge and give herself increase in offense and defensive power. And so she is a very good character as well. Her fragments are located in the Nexus 1-3 as well as Heroes level 4-9. So another very good character there. The next one on our list is number 5 on our list. One of the characters I like quite a bit for a taunter, and that is Crossbones. Crossbones is a very strong character. If he gets to the point where he can do his AoE attack, where he has his damage that he does, where he explodes himself and detonates himself. He detonates and attacks the entire enemy team. That's pretty much the finisher. So you want to spend some time collecting his fragments. He is actually available in the Blitz store, which we'll show you here in a little bit. He's also available in Villains 4-9. So another character you want to spend some time upgrading and trying to get. All right, the next one up is actually the Shield Medic. And the Shield Medic is somebody that you get early on that you'll want to spend some time investing in her or him. I'm not sure if that's I think it's a guy or a girl. I don't know. It's a girl probably. And so you want to spend some time getting some of her fragments. She's available in Villains 1-6 and Heroes 2-3. But you only want to utilize her until you can get to the point where you open up Villains 3-9. Once you get to Villains 3-9, you start collecting fragments for the real character I want you to get, the best healer in the game, Night Nurse. Night Nurse, like I said, her fragments are available in Villains 3-9 and Heroes 5-9. She is number 4 on our list and very usable throughout the entire game, because whether you use her in raids or you can use her in PvP, you can use her in the campaigns. She is a cross-format healer, And probably, not probably, she is the best healer in the game currently as it stands right now. So, again, she comes in at number 4 on our list. All right, now we are down to the top three of my favorite characters. All right, the next one up is Gamora. Gamora is a hard hitter. Gamora is also available in the Blitz store, which we'll show you later, and in the Nexus 2-9. You can pick up her fragments in both of those areas. All right, now down to number 2, and my personal favorite character in the entire game, as you can tell by the work we put into him, is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is available in Villains 1-9 and Heroes 6-6. So once you get through that first level in the Villains, you'll start to get opportunities to pick up fragments for Hawkeye. If you spend some time upgrading him, I promise you, you will not regret it. So right now, the best farmable character in the entire game and the character that has the most utility across format is Yondu. And if you spent any time in this game, you know that Yondu is a very good character. You know that he's on the top of pretty much everybody's list right now. I think that he's an excellent utility character that can be used in any format. So he is available in Heroes 1-9 as well as Nexus 6-9. So that is our top 8. And as you go a little further into the game, there's some other characters that are available. You already heard me mention earlier Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is available in Nexus 9-9 and Cosmic 1-9. So as you progress further into the game and you open up the nodes to get his fragments, he is one that I recommend you spending some time getting. The next one that we'll talk about is somebody I actually don't have unlocked yet, and that is Nobu. Nobu is a character that you can start collecting his fragments in Nexus 9-6. A very good summoner in the game. The next one up is one of my new favorites that I've been using a lot is Kingpin, also a summoner. His fragments are available in Villains 6-9. We got to there recently and have started collecting his fragments and have not regretted it ever since. All right, and so the last one that I'm going to talk about is somebody that you can spend, I believe, $10 to unlock him and start utilizing him. If you decide to do it, I don't think you're going to regret it because he's a very powerful member within the, or a very powerful character in the game. And that is Captain America, my personal favorite in the Marvel world. And what do you say about Captain America?
Captain America does his mighty shield.
He does do that in the game, and when he does, you must yield because he will hit you with his shield, and he has the ability to block quite a bit, and so he's a very good tank in that manner, and he will protect your entire team and provide energy for your team as well. So those are the ones that are later on in the game, and those are free characters to you. Now, there's also another section that you can go into that we're going to show you, where there's also some more characters that you can pick up. The first section is in the arena section. Once you get yourself far enough along, there is a character in here that I recommend getting as many fragments as you can, and that is Quake. Quake is an excellent character. We've already got her at, I believe, 5 stars, and she is an excellent character. Somebody that whenever you get enough fragments, you will want to pick up her fragments as much as you can. As often as you can. As you can see, we've only got 400, but once we get to 500, we will definitely pick up more fragments for Quake. I also like Daredevil. Daredevil's a very good character, but if I had to put these characters in order, I would say Quake should be your first priority, Drax should be your second priority, and Daredevil should be your third priority. All three are good characters in their own way. She can slow down the other team as well as do a very powerful AoE towards the end of the battle. Drax starts off with a taunt, and he can taunt himself again later to protect the entire team. And Daredevil is a damage dealer who is also very fast in the game, so he'll go quite early and cause a lot of damage to the other team. All right, so the next section we're going to talk about is the Blitz store, and we'll talk about who is available in there. Blitz store is right here. And so as you can see, we've already started picking up some fragments for Crossbones. But if I had to put these in order, you can always pick up fragments for your favorite characters. If Spider-Man, who I'm wearing right now, wearing a t-shirt of, if Spider-Man is one of your favorite characters, go after Spider-Man. He's an excellent character in the game. He's one that you get early, and you can pick up his fragments. He has usability for sure, but I'm giving you the ones that I believe are the best in my personal opinion. Spider-Man is an excellent character. You can certainly pick up his fragments here if you want, but in my personal opinion, I would start by picking up fragments for Gamora first until you get her to a strong enough point. After that, start collecting some for Crossbones as well. So then, of course, third in my priority list would be Spider-Man. Fourth would be Luke Cage. But I would have to go pretty far into farming both Gamora and Crossbones to even consider going to anybody else. All right, so the next section that we're going to talk about is the Raid store. And the Raid store has been really good for us because we've been able to unlock and pick up a lot of fragments for Thor. And so, a matter of fact, he's available right now. We're going to pick up Thor's fragments right here live. So there you go. To just the point that I recommend using your fragments on Thor first. What you'll also see later on is that Quake also shows up in this setup as well. And so I recommend you using fragments to pick up for Quake as well. So prioritization is completely up to you. But to me, I would go with Thor first and then Quake second. All right, because this is pretty much the only section where you can actually pick up fragments for Thor. And Quake, as you can see, is also available right there. We just picked up 5 more fragments for her there. All right, so we're going to end off the video by showing you what are the best teams, because we said that you have to have a good villain team. You also have to have a good hero team. And we're going to show you the best overall team from all those characters that we just talked about. So let's go into here. We'll go into our defensive section. We'll clear this out. And we'll start off by showing you what is the best villain team that you can put together from the characters that we just talked about. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind is that placement of the characters is very important. So, if as far as who you want to put in the middle, I would put Elektra in the dead center because she can go invisible and protect herself from having attacks that could branch off to some of the other characters. To her left, I would put Nebula. And Nebula is down here. I'll be able to, there we go. Put Nebula right there. From there, to her right, I would put Crossbones. If I can find him here. Actually, I'm sorry, I told you wrong. That would be where I would put Yondu. So Yondu, I know, is at the top here. Put Yondu right there. You always want to put your taunters at the far end because the taunters, if they decide to chain, will only go to the next person. And so you want to be able to keep the person on the far end because you want to try to minimize the amount of damage that they can do to other characters. And so what happens if you put them in the dead center, then it will branch off to both of your other 2 characters behind him. If they attack him and it hits the person adjacent to him, it's only going to affect one person. So you'll want to put behind him the strongest character that can take damage behind your taunter. And so finally, to round this off, the last character that we talked about that's farmable, and he's number 8 on our list, is Bullseye. So here is your farmable villains team that you can put together that has a tank on it, it has a summoner on it, it has 2 hard hitters on there, it also has a self buffer on there. So very good, very strong team on there as well. So let's go ahead and take out these characters. We're going to show you the best heroes team that you can put together of all the farmable characters that we talked about. And in the dead center here, we would put, let's see, I think we should start off with a character that can protect themselves. So I'm just going to say that Gamora would probably be the one that I put in the dead center. So Gamora is there. And to her left, we would put probably Night Nurse. And so Night Nurse is down here a little bit, right there. To her right, we're going to put Hawkeye. And Hawkeye's at the top there. Directly on the far right-hand side, we would probably do... let's see, probably Luke Cage or Spider-Man, since those are both farmable characters. But you have your taunter on the far end there, like we talked about. And then you also have Quake is the other character that's a really good one. That's a farmable character as well. So there is your hero setup that has a healer in there. You've got a taunter in there as well. You've got a hard hitter. You've got a control person in there. And you got somebody that can slow down the other team as well as do some AoE damage as well. So let's take a look at the best overall team that I would put together for this attack. So I would have in the dead center, we'd have Gamora again, another good hard hitter. To her left, we would put Hawkeye there. To her right, let's put Quake in there. And then on the far left-hand side, we'll do Crossbones, like we said, a really good damage dealer as well as a good taunter. And then Yondu as our summoner. That is an extremely powerful team. Would win you a lot of battles in PvP. Would win you a lot of campaign battles as well, and you can use them in raids and a bunch of other ways. And so you've got a taunter, you've got some heavy hitters, you've got a summoner, you got somebody that can slow down and do AoE, you got another person that can do AoE. Very, very well-rounded, strong, hard-hitting team right there. So you can also substitute somebody like Night Nurse in there. You can put Nebula in there, Elektra in there, Drax in there. A lot of characters we've already talked about that would be very strong, hard-hitting characters that you can utilize in this team. So there you go, guys. These are the characters that both villain and hero that you can start farming today and make the best possible teams for yourself going forward. So again, as we mentioned, placement is very important. So as you see behind you there, that's actually the team that we are running with right now. And that's only because we had the ability to get some of the Black Widow fragments, and we've been spending a lot of time upgrading and getting Thor in there as well. So very strong team. This is the team that we use currently right now. We're very happy with the team. But there's always opportunity for improvement, always opportunity to upgrade our team as well. All right, so that's going to do it for tonight. And so, Maddie, there's always 3 things we want people to do at the end of our video. What are those 3 things?
Subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel.
Drop a like.
Drop a like.
And leave that comment.
And leave us a comment to let us know, do we miss somebody? We gave you our top 8 farmable characters. Who else would you put inside the list? We've also told you who is the best overall team, who's the best hero team, and who is the best villain team of all the characters that are out there that are available to farm today for you. Did we get it wrong? Did we get it right? We won't know unless you leave us a comment in the section down below. So, Maddie, is there anything you want to say to people at home before we go?
Bye, and thanks for watching. God bless you. Have a great night. Don't forget to drop us that like.
You heard her.